I'm Becky.
And I'm Bo.
And we are the WrightSights.
And today we are in the beautiful city of St. Augustine, Florida.
And in this segment, we're going to teach you 5 fun facts about St. Augustine.
5 fun facts. Now, something about St. Augustine as far as fun historical facts, there are literally dozens and dozens of facts. This is a super historical city, but we've picked out the top 5 fun facts in our opinion. And fun fact number 1.
St. Augustine is the oldest city in America. It was established in 1565.
All right, so let's just show you around one of the oldest areas in St. Augustine. Now that's probably a fun fact that most of you know.
Did you not want to tell them who was behind us?
Oh, well, let me flip this around. And right behind us is a statue of Ponce de Leon, who landed near this spot in 1513. Now this is right at the entrance to St. Augustine. In fact, let me pan around here. There is the beautiful Bridge of Lions, and if you've been to St. Augustine, that's one of the focal points here. It's a gorgeous bridge you can walk across, and then right at the base is Ponce de Leon, the statue dedicated to him. He landed here in 1513, and Becky, what was he looking for when he landed here in 1513?
Well, maybe a wife?
Not a wife. He was looking for the Fountain of Youth.
Did he find it? I want to find that.
Well, apparently he did, because Becky has drank from the Fountain of Youth, as you can see. So she discovered it. I don't know about if he did or not. Now, Ponce de Leon did not discover or did not establish St. Augustine. It was established about 50 years later in 1565, like Becky said. But that's a pretty fun fact there, that Ponce de Leon landed here. Yeah, he's known as the discoverer of Florida. And then years later, they established the first permanent settlement here in what eventually became the United States. Because originally, who did it belong to, Becky?
The British?
Not the British. Ponce de Leon.
Spanish?
The Spanish, yes.
All right, yeah, that makes more sense.
But Becky's kind of right, because the British did eventually take it over. Then eventually, of course, it became a part of the United States.
So that was a trick question.
That was a trick question. Now, behind us, you can see the public market square. It's a really cool building. This is just a block-long city park, and it is the oldest public space
Plaza de Constitución.
That's right. They have a monument here that is dedicated to the Spanish Constitution, I think of 1812, somewhere in there. Not really sure now. In fact, here it is right here. Let me turn the camera around. There is the monument dedicated to the Spanish Constitution. So as you can see, this is just a very pretty historic park. I was close. 1813 was when this monument was built, recognizing the Spanish Constitution. So this is the oldest public space in the United States of America, dedicated way back by the Spanish. And the
Spanish style buildings all around it should have been a good clue.
Yes. But that is fun fact number 1. Appreciate just how old this city is and beautiful. And also right across the street from this public square is a building called the Treasury. So keep that in mind for fun fact number 2, because we're going to walk up the street and show you, I don't know, it's kind of my favorite fun fact because not too many people know about this. So we're going to take a walk about a block up the street, right on the main avenue, and show you fun fact number 2. So we have walked about 2 minutes down the block right from where we were, the plaza. There is the Bridge of Lions. And now we're going to show you fun fact number 2. Now, fun fact number 2 is something that's not marked and that you just have to do some extensive research to find this out. So Becky, tell us, what is fun fact number 2?
We are going to walk on the United States' most narrow street.
Most narrow street in the United States.
This
Only
is exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff. 7 feet wide. All right, let me flip the camera around, Becky. Now it is right on the corner of the Hilton. And here it is. The most narrow street in the United States of America. Look at that. That is so cool. Wow. All right, so they say it's 7 feet. All right, so Becky's gonna lay down here. There she goes. Yeah, Becky's about 5'7". So that looks right. So this is pretty cool. Fun fact number 2. St. Augustine has the narrowest street in the United States. All right, so that is fun fact number 2, the narrowest street in the United States. Now, fun fact number 3 is right up the street, right here. This is the Hilton Hotel. Now, fun fact number 3 has to do with the Hilton Hotel. Now, back in the 1960s, this was not a Hilton, it was called the Ponce Motor Lodge. It was a little motor lodge right here on the main street of St. Augustine. And here is another very little known piece of history, which I think is a really cool fun fact. All right, so Becky, can you tell us what fun fact is associated with the Hilton?
We're staying here.
We are staying here. We're staying here.
Okay, that wasn't it. Martin Luther King Jr. visited here and protested here segregation of the hotel. And so they did what they called a wade-in.
A wade-in.
Into the pool.
Yeah. So let me show you what to do when you get here to St. Augustine. So here's the Hilton, and here's a little entrance to a courtyard. Now again, the original Ponce Motor Lodge has been torn down. It's torn down many years ago, but for historic purposes, they saved a couple of things. Now, like Becky said, one of the things that happened was that Dr. King came here to protest the fact that this was a segregated hotel and restaurant. And when they tore down the hotel, they actually saved these steps. And there's a plaque right above it that says these steps were salvaged when the Ponce Motel was demolished in 2003 and remain in tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was arrested here in 1964. So if you do a little research, you can find pictures of King on these steps. He's kind of talking to the owner of Ponce Lodge and trying to convince him to desegregate his hotel. And so they saved these steps, which you can go on today knowing that Dr. King once stood here. And so this was a very significant piece of the civil rights movement that very few people know about. And it's just tucked off the main street. Now, as a part of that civil rights demonstration back in 1964, they had what was called the wade-in, like Becky said. Remember, in the 1960s, they had sit-ins where people would go into restaurants and just sit down and try to desegregate a restaurant. Well, here at the Ponce Motor Lodge, they had a wade-in, which was when a bunch of activists, both African Americans and white Americans, went into the pool here at the Ponce Motor Lodge. Now, this is an obelisk, or an obelisk, one of the two. And this is just an artist rendition of that event. And at the base of the of this monument, it describes the wade-in. So, last thing about the civil rights movement here, they actually preserved the pool. So back in 1964, a bunch of activists came here to the pool, and it was a segregated pool, white only, and some African-American activists as well as white activists all jumped into the pool, and the owner of the Monson Lodge tried to get them out of the pool. You can see pictures online. He's dumping bleach into the pool, trying to get them out, and a policeman actually jumps into the pool to try to get them out, and the pool is still here today. And so this is a really cool historic pool here at the Hilton, which was formerly the Monson Motor Lodge. And you can see in the distance there a plaque that says the Monson Motel, formerly located on this site, was a focal point of the demonstrations led by Dr. Robert Hayling and Dr. Martin Luther King, and resulted in the passage of the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964. So that is fun fact number 3.
Fun fact 3.5.
Yeah.
We're going to swim in this pool later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it is a nice warm day here in St. Augustine. So this is a really cool area to know that Dr. King was here, other activists were here, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which ended segregation in the United States. This was the last major civil rights demonstration prior to that landmark legislation passed way back in 1964. So that was fun fact number 3. Are you ready for fun fact number 4?
I am.
All right, so fun fact number 4, it's right down the street as well. All right, so we are on the fun fact number 4. We're walking down kind of the seawall pathway, beautiful pathway here in St. Augustine.
And the breeze is always awesome on this pathway.
Oh yes, it's gorgeous.
Coming off the bay.
Now you can kind of see in the background, that's where the Hilton is, located right off the main street here. I believe it's a part of the A1A highway that runs all the way through Florida. And now the number 4 fun fact of St. Augustine according to the WrightSights. So Becky, fun fact number 4.
It has the oldest fort made of mortar.
Yeah, oldest masonry fort.
Masonry.
This is mortar.
Mortar, okay.
Yeah. Oldest masonry fort in the United States, the Castillo de San Marco. Today it's a national monument. So here we go. You can see how close it is from the kind of the center of the main street here in St. Augustine. So we're going to just show you kind of the outside. This fort was built way back in the 1600s, and it's the only fort, at least the only masonry fort that still remains that was built in the 1600s.
Oh, wow.
In the United States. So you can see a lot of people here. This is the main kind of tourist attraction of St. Augustine, and this is probably a fun fact that you already knew about if you know anything about St. Augustine, because this has been a tourist attraction for years and years and years, decades. So right here is the old Spanish fort that protected St. Augustine. So you can see how beautiful it is here. And be looking for our next WrightSights video, or one of the next WrightSights videos, because we're going to take you on a tour inside this fort. Kind of a bonus area. Last night, what did you see here, Becky, last night?
I saw a sea turtle.
Yeah, a sea turtle right here in the bay.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes out on that. And they also have manatees. You have these manatee signs saying be careful of them. They probably are more around in the wintertime.
Yes, and they said whale sharks too, but again, more in the winter time.
Yeah.
You might see them pass through here.
So that's fun fact number 4. So let's review real quick. Fun fact number 1.
The oldest city in America.
In 1565. Fun fact number 2, my favorite.
The narrowest street.
Narrowest street, really cool. Fun fact number 3, civil rights activist back in 1964. Dr. King himself came here. And then fun fact number 4, the beautiful fort that you see behind us. Now, fun fact number 5 is back in town. Now, one reason why we picked these 5 fun facts is they're all here pretty close together. So let's head over into this direction for the final fun fact for the WrightSights. Okay, on to fun fact number 5. And to get your bearings, we are right at the entrance to St. George Street. And if you've ever been to St. Augustine, this is kind of the main street, so you'll know where you're at. Behind us is the fort. And then right in front of us, let me flip the camera around, is the old city gate built by the Spanish way back in 1808. So this is a pretty cool fun fact, but it's not the WrightSights 5 fun facts. But as you see around the gate, you can see the walls, the replica of the walls that once surrounded the entire city. In fact, the wall goes all the way to the fort over there. So that's a pretty cool fun fact, but most people know about that fact, I think. But fun fact number 5 is located just a short walk down St. George Street. So let's go on to fun fact number 5. All right, so let's look for it. I kind of see it in the distance there. Now, St. George Street is, like I said, kind of the main street with all the attractions here in St. Augustine. What do you like about St. George Street?
It's just so quaint, all the little shops and lots of ice cream places, which is cool.
Yeah.
But everything smells good too.
Yeah, it's really a great street to walk around on.
And we're coming up on
the top 5. Now, if you want to see more of St. George Street, you can check out our other video about St. George Street. So let me flip it around. And here is the fun fact number 5 for the WrightSights.
The oldest wooden schoolhouse, right?
Yep, this is the oldest wooden schoolhouse in the United States of America. Now, this is only our 2nd trip to St. Augustine, and the reason this is a part of the kind of the fun facts is because on our first trip I didn't even notice this.
I don't think I did either. Yeah.
And I teach school. You'd think that I would have noticed the oldest wooden schoolhouse in the United States. So that was fun fact number 5, the oldest wooden schoolhouse in the United States. So we hope you enjoyed that. The top 5, number 1,
oldest city.
Oldest city, 1565. Number 2, my favorite,
narrowest
street. Number 3, the famous Dr. King demonstrations, wade-ins. Number 4, the fort.
Oldest mortar fort.
Yeah, and now the oldest school building in
wooden
schoolhouse in the United States. So that is the WrightSights top 5 fun facts. If you've been to St. Augustine and you have some fun facts you'd like to share with us, do so in the comments below. There are really dozens of fun facts here. We just pointed out 5.
Great city.
Great city. So we hope you enjoyed this video of the top 5 fun facts in St. Augustine, Florida. Hi, I'm Bo.
And I'm Becky.
And we are the WrightSights.
And today we're in St. Augustine, Florida, and we're going to show you the Ponce de Leon Hotel that is currently Flagler College.
And it is beautiful. Now, the Ponce de Leon Hotel was built way back in the late 1800s by a guy named Henry Flagler. He was a multi-billionaire, and he built this hotel for his rich and famous friends.
Fun fact, it only took 18 months to build this monstrosity, which is hard to believe.
It is a gorgeous place. Now, when you arrive in St. Augustine, this is really the first building you'll see. I think it's probably the tallest building, at least the one I see. And you can walk in off the street and just come to the courtyard. You can kind of see around me right now. Come to the courtyard and look around. You can also go into the lobby and take a look at kind of the beautiful big lobby that's there. Or you can also go on a tour.
Yes, we did the tour. It took about an hour. It was $16 each, and I think it was well worth it because we got to see several rooms that you can't just walk into. And it was really interesting. We learned some fun facts.
Yeah, a lot of fun facts. Like, for example, let me turn the camera around here, and you can see a fountain. Beautiful fountain. Remember any of the fun facts about the fountain, Becky?
It supposedly acts as a sundial. It's also supposed to be a Spanish sword, like it's stuck down in the ground.
Yeah.
The 12 frogs would be, of course, for the time, and then the 4 turtles underneath were for the 4 seasons. There are 3 themes around the hotel, she said: Spanish style, Christian, and also nautical.
And you can see the courtyard is just fabulous. All right, so let's take a look on the inside. And again, you can go in here without a ticket, but I think $16 well worth the tour because you get to see a couple of rooms that the general public doesn't get to see. All right, so now we are in the lobby. Can you imagine back in the day when this was built from 1885 to 1887, this was a hotel lobby, and right above us is the dome, as you can see here.
That is so beautiful.
And you can see the window at the top.
Yes, that's Tiffany glass, she said. And also all the gold you see is gold. It's either gold plated or gold paint with gold in it.
Now, if you take the tour, you get all the information about like the paintings here and the symbolism behind them. So again, the tour is well worth it. And then these columns, they kind of have a secret in them too. Let's see if we can find one. Yeah, I don't know. There are several hidden lobsters.
Yep, wooden lobsters.
Wooden lobsters. All right, so I'm going to show you. See if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me get the camera up here. So the people who designed these columns kind of put these hidden lobsters in them. So just another fun fact. All right, so when you take the tour of the Ponce de Leon Hotel, now Flagler College, the first stop is the
ladies receiving hall.
Yeah, parlor,
ladies parlor.
Back in the day when they would check in, the ladies would immediately go down this hallway to a big grand parlor. And they would basically be down there relaxing. Mm-hmm. What all do you remember in that room?
They have 11 chandeliers that are completely unique and were never replicated.
Yep, all by Tiffany, I believe.
And they were beautiful. They have some paintings of Henry Flagler and his third wife.
Third wife. He was married 3 times, and when you walk in on the left-hand side, you see a painting of Flagler, and then on the right-hand side, you see his third wife. And
there's
then
a clock that doesn't work.
The clock was my favorite part of the tour in that room because it was designed by who?
Thomas Edison. That's right, because he did the electricity for the hotel.
Yep. Thomas Edison and Henry Flagler were good friends, and so he would often come up here and visit with Henry Flagler. Flagler made his fortune, among other things, in Standard Oil.
And grain in Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio. And if you know anything about Standard Oil, the name most associated with it is John D. Rockefeller, the wealthiest man in the world at the time. and he and Flagler were really good friends as well. And do you remember how much it cost for one room here back in the day?
Okay, so typically they would come and stay from January to April. It was a seasonal hotel, and it was $100,000 in today's dollars.
Yeah, $100,000 for one room.
But for them, it was $4,000 cash only.
Yep. All right, so once you get done in the women's parlor, you'll take a tour of the grounds, and then the highlight of the tour.
The dining hall.
The dining hall. So the highlight of the tour is the dining hall.
Oh, for sure. It's so impressive.
And behind us, you can see the main entrance to the dining hall, and this is an active student dining hall.
I'm so jealous. This is nothing like the dining hall I had when I went to college.
Not at all. It is gorgeous.
It is.
And,
they're so lucky.
I'm going to turn the camera around here. And here is, if you're a student here, this is the entrance to the dining hall. Now, when you go on the tour, you'll actually make a left here, and you will go into the dining hall through Henry Flagler's private entrance. So this is pretty cool right here. So you can see it right up here. And you may hear some construction noise behind us.
They just received $12 million for renovations from a donor.
And this is a huge complex, and to keep it in the shape it is today would cost millions. So let's head on into the dining room. We'll show you probably the most gorgeous dining hall on any campus in the United States.
Easily.
Okay, so now we are in the dining hall of Flagler College. Of course, the original Ponce de Leon Hotel, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, it's amazing. So intricate, and the windows, the
stained
stained glass,
let's turn around.
Glass.
These are Tiffany glass windows behind us, installed by Tiffany himself.
Yes, and
in fact,
the originals, not a piece been replaced as far as we know.
Yeah.
All the painting and the gold-plated everything. It's just incredible. And this is an active dining hall.
Right, yeah, that's cool.
Students that just blows my mind that they get to eat in this opulence as a student. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is such a beautiful dining hall. Let me flip this around. Kind of see more of it here. There are, I think, 3,500 students that attend here.
Yes, the woodwork is amazing too.
So this.
Apparently they need to vacuum right now.
Yeah. Guys vacuuming. Active college, so. And actually you can see these windows from the outside as you walk past. And this morning when we were walking past, we were both wondering what it was, because from the outside it looks really cool. And so this is what it looks like from the inside.
Show these balconies where we have performers for the hotel guests.
Yeah.
I think that is so pretty, the woodwork. And then also those Tiffany windows that he did that are more colorful, those are beautiful.
And I believe the tour guide said that these are the only windows he ever did.
So much detail.
A lot of detail. Flagler himself would sit right over here where these two people are. That was his seat. His private entrance to the dining hall was right here. So Flagler kind of had the prime spot. See the beautiful chandeliers above here. So this is the beautiful dining hall that you can come in, take a look at, and see some of the history or hear some of the history behind this beautiful room at the Ponce de Leon Hotel. So that was a tour of the beautiful Ponce de Leon Hotel and basically museum today, and the current Flagler College. What a beautiful building.
Yes, these students are so lucky. I can't imagine going to school here. It's like just being transported back ages.
Yes. I actually talked to one of the students. She did seem like she was very appreciative to be going to this beautiful campus. And the tuition, if you want to go here, is
$34,000 a year, which includes room and board, meal plan.
Meal plan, the whole thing, which in the state of Florida, that is quite a good deal. $34,000 for a private university. And one of the benefits, let me show you behind here. You can see the building in the background. Those are actual dormitories. The former hotel rooms are where the students get to live for 4 years.
And you got to see the dining room that they get to eat in, so
the
they are very lucky.
Gorgeous. So here on the WrightSights, we would highly suggest not just walking in off the street and touring around, although that's well worth it, but I would suggest go ahead and buy the $16 ticket, take the full tour, and you will be super impressed.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So we hope you enjoyed that tour. And when you're in St. Augustine, be sure to come by the Ponce de Leon Hotel. You ready?
Yep.
Hi everyone, I'm Bo.
And I'm Becky.
And we are the WrightSights.
And today we are in...
Alrighty. Hi, I'm Bo.
No, I was licking my teeth when you started.
When you come to St. Augustine, this is like the big building everyone sees. Did I mention that you can just walk in?
I think you did.
I think I did. This is the second or third take on this. So, oh, here's the bells.
They're pretty.
Yeah, they are pretty.
They go off every hour for 7.
We're rambling.
Hi, I'm Becky.
And I'm Bo.
And we're the WrightSights.
And in this segment of the WrightSights, we are going to take you down the main street here in St. Augustine, Florida.
Called St. George Street. It's where all the little cute shops are, and restaurants and ice cream shops. They're all down this little street.
And if you've been to St. Augustine before, I'm sure this will bring back some pleasant memories. And if you've never been here before, well, you'll want to watch this to see all the cool things that you can see and do on this beautiful street. Now, right behind me, I will turn the camera around. Here we go. As you can see, this is a very touristy city. They have the old town trolley tours, but you can walk right through these old gates. These gates were built way back in about 1810 by the Spanish, and used to have a fortress all around this city to protect people from outside invaders. And today it is kind of just a street with shops, restaurants, all sorts of cool things. So let's take a walk down St. George Street.
We got mini donuts and a restaurant. Of course, the old town trolley tours booth. You got chocolates, fudge, and ice cream. Sounds good.
How long would you say this street is, Becky?
Well, we haven't made it to the end, but I think it's probably, about a mile, you think? Or
I
three quarters of a mile?
I bet you
half a mile?
I bet you half. Maybe.
I'm terrible at that, so I don't know.
I'm just guessing a half a mile.
You got jewelry and gifts, clothing and jewelry.
Tell them what this is.
And then in our other video, you'll have seen that this is the oldest wooden schoolhouse in the USA in St. Augustine, Florida. And then you can hear some live music, one of these restaurants. There's artisans and craftsmen. There's soap. There's a little, stop and look down that little alley. There's little shops down off of St. George Street. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and this looks like a neat place. The Original Lick-It Dole Whip Soft Serve. Wow, that sounds good.
It does.
Yeah.
We'll
We might have to
there.
come back and try that.
Yeah, oh, look at that. Can't go wrong with a nice pineapple treat in the summer.
That's right.
Oh, take a peek in there. That's called Colonial Oak Music Park. It's a cute little shaded.
All right, here's just a little music part. I'm assuming that this is active in the evening time. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. Look at the live oak right here.
That is so pretty.
Wow, this
look
is,
at that.
and on a hot day, this would be a great place to hang out.
Yes. I imagine they have live music, and there's even a stage. And
They have
all
lights
kinds of
hanging
tables.
from the trees.
Oh, this is
All right, so we might have to come back tonight and check this out. So this is, what was this called, Becky?
hold on, something about Colonial Live. Where'd it go?
Colonial Oak Music Park. So make sure you check that out right off of St. George Street.
There's a pottery place.
Pottery
right there.
and soap. Again, we're not going to go in any of these stores. We're just giving you a good...
Well, we will, but
but I'm on
camera.
this video. For this video, we're not going to go
Here's
in
a
any of
seafood
these
place,
stores.
Another ice cream shop. Some shirts.
Look at the big stone walls here that are so beautiful.
And all the flags flying. It's pretty.
And this is in June, so I don't know if this is typical for tourist seasons. They're actually not too crowded right now.
No, it's great, and the weather is amazing. I assume it gets a little hotter in maybe July, but right now it feels great.
Here's a place called the Seafood Company Restaurant. You kind of look back there. A lot of really neat restaurants to eat at here. The Panama Hat Company. So I would say
I'm right here.
we are about halfway down, I believe,
Yeah.
St. George Street. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Pretzels. Crepes.
Oh, where are the crepes? Oh,
Mimi's.
Mimi's famous crepes. Maybe we'll do breakfast there tomorrow.
That sounds good. And what's this wooden building right here?
This is the Bull and Crown Public House.
Ah,
So it's not open right now.
cool.
So maybe it's open just in the evenings. Here's a place called Flagler Legacy Tour and Gifts.
Now, where did we go that has Flagler Street?
Oh yeah, Flagler is another big history thing.
Yeah.
A guy named Flagler, I can't remember his first name now. Might have been Henry Flagler. He was a big railroad tycoon back in the 1800s. He's basically who I would consider kind of the grandfather of Florida. He came down here in the 1800s and invested a tremendous amount of money into St. Augustine. That's why they have Flagler College here.
Ah, okay.
And he basically put St. Augustine on the map again. He also built a railroad down to Key West.
That's what I remember.
So if you are
Yep.
anywhere in Florida, especially on the East Coast and in South Florida, you'll see Flagler's name a lot. He invested, in today's money, it'd be billions of dollars
Wow.
into Florida, railroads to get people from the north down here, colleges, he built hotels, all sorts of stuff. So looks like someone wants to give us some organic extract.
Sample. Such a cute street. It's another cute boutique.
Here is
Faux
a
pas, that's
little
cute.
place called Faux Pas. You see what they did there,
I
Becky?
see what they did there.
You
That's
see what they did
cute.
there? Yeah.
That's super cute. We don't have a pet though, so we
No,
don't
no.
have to go in there.
Oh, look how neat this little courtyard is.
It's beautiful.
All right, so here's a little courtyard. All right, I don't know what this is, but I bet there might be a sign right around the corner. This is at the corner of, how do you pronounce that street, Becky? Hippolyta and St. George Street. This is the Frank D. Upchurch. Oh, it's a plaque dedicated to him.
Yeah, so I assume the park has something to do with that.
All right, so
Isabella of Spain, dedicated September 1965. That was just a few months before I was born.
all right, let's see.
So it was busier down this section.
A little busy in here. Medieval torture collection. That sounds interesting.
I don't think I want to go in there. Medieval, let's see what it is. Spanish Plaza entrance. Looks pretty cool. Medieval Torture Museum. Huh. That sounds interesting. If you're not good, I might bring you back there later.
Here's a place called the Rendezvous Restaurant.
Looks like people are waiting to get in there. Must be good.
Get in there.
Crystal store. Earthbound Trading. Oh, there's a 5 and dime.
Oh, wow. This looks like it used to be a real 5 and dime store back in the day. It's kind of got the architecture for it. Of course, there aren't too many 5 and dimes around anymore. Hey. There's a place called the Roosevelt Room.
And look, right after it, ghost tours. Remember that ghost tour we did with Claudia and your mom and dad in Savannah?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. That ghost stole Claudia's earring.
Yeah. All right, looks like about one more block to go on St. George Street.
And if you watch the other video that we did on St. Augustine, you'll see that it ends pretty much at the square that we showed you when we were going over the 5 fun facts about St. Augustine.
Yes, so if you haven't seen that one yet, check it out, called The 5 Fun Facts of St. Augustine. A couple of those facts you probably haven't heard of. And if you ever get down here to St. Augustine, you'll want to check them out. All right, let me flip the camera back around.
Oh, wait. Let's get all the way to the end.
All right.
We don't do anything unless we do it right. WRIGHT.
The WrightSights.
That's right.
Look how beautiful these trees are. Beautiful trees lining this area of St. George Street.
All right. I think that's the end. Over there is the park. And then it connects to Cathedral Street.
All right, let me turn it around. Here we go. All right, so that is St. George Street. And you took us, 10 minutes to walk down there? So
yeah, probably 10 or 15.
Right behind us, like Becky said, is the park. It's called the Constitution Plaza, I believe, something like that. So that is St. George Street here in St. Augustine, Florida.